scent of your perfume is a complete tether. Give back my heart you stole, chase down the rabbit hole. It's undebatable. We come together, we come together.
So you choose...
I want my Swiss socks, you like them?
They're Swiss?
No, but
You choose the Grafik14 for present your art for the first time in Europe. Why?
I can't really say that I chose it. I think that I was invited to come here, and so I was thrilled at the opportunity to come and make this the first place that I've shown my art.
Where did you drink your wine?
Where?
Yeah.
The bathroom. It's the safest place. Lock the door and draw on toilet paper, you know.
So, but
I don't really do that.
But you've been at the Grafik at the Markthalle yesterday and today too. What do you think of the Swiss graphics?
I'm honestly really inspired. I walked around the hall a couple of times and seen a lot of the young artists at work, and it's made me want to try harder. Yeah, there's a lot of talent here, and so I actually feel really flattered to be in the company of so many good artists. So it's a real honor for me. Yeah.
So in your video you said that you were listening to Tom Waits during your paintings.
During that one, yeah.
Yeah, why Tom Waits and why not Brandon Boyd? Are you never listening to your own sound?
Can you imagine? Like, really? That would be so weird to me. Can you just imagine this? Sorry, I'm going to paint a picture for you. Me, by myself, drinking wine in the bathroom, listening to myself, drawing pictures of my own face over and over and over again. That's actually how it goes. Yeah, it's about normal. That what I was talking about in the video was just an example of how drawing a picture or painting a picture goes for me most of the time, because most of the time I don't really know what I'm doing while I'm doing it. And for me, it's not really the point to know what I'm doing. Art has always been an opportunity to sort of be free. And so I just started spilling ink around on the page, and then it is almost as if he showed up in the picture unintentionally. I didn't really realize that. I sort of drew a dude in a hat, and then I'm like, whoa, kind of looks like Tom Waits a little bit, and there he is on the stereo, so I just sort of put his song lyric in there, and that's how it kind of goes, you know. There's very little pre-planning for me when I do art projects. I just sort of like to just kind of go and fly by the seat of my pants.
But actually, I know your favorite singers are females, and a lot of your paintings, there are females too, or more female figures than male figures.
Girls are prettier than guys.
That's it.
Kind of. I mean, every once in a while, a friend or a loved one will sit for me, and I'll like draw their profile or, you know, draw them or something. But most of the time, it's just stuff that kind of randomly shows up. I was going to say, a lot of times I don't listen to anything at all when I'm drawing. It's fun to draw to a soundtrack occasionally, but for me, more often than not, I draw to the sound of nothing. You know, like no music, no anything, just like the sort of general cacophony of noises going on in the house or with the window open outside. All of those things end up being really inspiring. It creates its own kind of song. And then it informs the art in a strange way too. It's almost more free if you're not listening to anything at all. Yeah.
Also ich habe vorhin wieder mal mein Nadel irgendwo liegen lassen und ich wusste, wo ich es habe. Er hat gesagt, passiert da nie. Er weiß immer, wo er das Zeug herleitet. I said that you always know, when I lost my mobile a few minutes ago,
yeah,
that you always know where you put your things. So you're really concentrated. How do you get your mind free when you when you're painting? Do you smoke something or?
Sometimes, sometimes I do, but most of the time not. You know, because that informs the process in a different way too. You know, it's like someone's helping you. You know, and so I think most of the time it's more fun to not have any help and just kind of like you're like out in the wild, wide open. And so what we're really doing when are there any artists in the audience?
Yeah.
Yes. You can probably attest to it. I mean, if you've ever drawn a picture or written a song or even taken a picture, I think that the wonderful thing about it is that there are really no rules. Or, you know, sometimes we have a job in art and there are sort of restrictions placed on us, but I think the most liberating artistic experiences are when we are in that forum when there's no rules. And how often do we get to have that in our lives when there's no like someone not breathing over your shoulder or telling you you're late or something. And so for me with art and with music too, for the most part, it's been that. I think that's why I love to do it so much. It's because there's nobody like lording over me. Hurry up, finish. None of that. I like the way that sounds. I'm gonna do the rest of the interview like this. Okay.
So, but that's also kind of a luxury, be that freedom, to have nobody behind you watching you. Not everybody can do that.
Yeah. Well, everybody can. Anybody can draw a picture, you know. I truly believe that too. I've met people in my life who didn't know how to like draw, or they consider themselves not to be creative or something, and then at some point in their life they give themselves permission to just try and just practice a little bit. And I've seen it happen a bunch of times where people truly surprise themselves and they surprise people around them too. And it really opens up a world in their life that they didn't know existed. And I really think that's available to anybody at any time. It doesn't have to be drawing, it doesn't have to be photography, it can be like knitting. It can be meditation, it can be surfing or skiing, mountain climbing, any of those things, you know.
So drawing is not a talent? Everybody can learn how to draw.
I truly believe it, yeah. I've seen it firsthand. I've met people that just naturally were talented, they can just do it already. And I mean, I don't know, maybe that's like karma or something, maybe they're just remembering from a past life, I don't know, but I've met people who like would draw stick figures, like that's all I can do. And then they decided that they wanted to be an artist, and so they practiced. And they practiced, and they got good, and I've seen some people just like accelerate to the point where you're like, wow, your mind is blown what they can do. I went to school with a couple of people like that. And some of them are professional artists now. Yeah, you could do it. I believe in you.
So in the video we also saw, I noticed in the back there was a Jesus cross. When you were playing the guitar,
Oh, right.
Are you religious, Brandon?
No. No. It's an antique picture I found at an antique mart somewhere. I just thought it looked really cool. And if Jesus existed, he was probably like a really cool dude who everybody just misunderstood. So when I look at that picture, I like to think of like Jesus as like the hippie dude. He's like, hey, stop it. And then that's all, everybody's like, this is amazing. No, I'm not a religious person. I consider myself to be a spiritual person, though. And I do think that there is a distinct difference between those two things. It's weird. You go to bookstores or you look online for material on spirituality, and it's always lumped in with religion. It always says religion and spirituality. And it's weird to me that those two things would be put together, because in my humble opinion, religion is sort of the perversion of spirituality. It's the sort of politicizing of spirituality, which the two things have nothing to do with each other. But yeah, not religious. And that picture of Jesus, he's just my bro, I guess.
So you are spiritually assessed? when you go on stage with interviews, you put your shirts off, and when you draw, you wear your glasses.
I put on things when I draw. Yeah, I don't get sweaty when I'm drawing. So when we start to like rock, you know, you start to like make music and you're shaking your head around and there's tons of people in front of you, you start to get sweaty. And I considered like losing the pants and leaving the shirt on, but it seemed like a weird thing. We talked about that before. I'm thinking about maybe as I get older, like switching it up, I'll leave my shirt on and take my pants off. See if people still come to the concerts. I don't think it's gonna work so well. I don't really have a preference, to tell you the truth. And I know that there are distinctions, but I think mostly the distinctions are aesthetic. I don't think that they're really... I am, at my core, in my essence, it's the same me that's doing all those things. And it goes back to what I was saying. It's like I've just sort of been learning throughout my life to give myself space, give myself permission to do many things. And I think at the core of it is trust. I trust myself, I trust where my sense of integrity lies. And so I don't really feel like I have to worry about how that's going to turn out or how it's going to turn out. I feel like if I stay rooted in love, really, if you want to like get deeper about it, you know, if you stay in that sort of love place, then there's really nothing to be afraid of. So all of those things are me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sort of, kind of.
Are you going to translate all of this, by the way? She gets it. Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess last question from my side. Have you ever done like specific motives for tattoos? Yeah, Sushits, have you drawn tattoos for other people?
Something that they would actually tattoo
Yeah.
on them with a specific idea. I have, but I've never really like... So, yes and no. I've never sat down and like drawn something where I spent a lot of time and went, here, like, tattoo that on you. What I have done a lot, which I don't know how great this is I'll meet somebody and they're like, I like your art, will you draw something on my arm right now? And I'm like, you don't want me to do that. Yes, I want you to do that. And so I'll draw like something quick that's all sweaty and like terrible, and then that's happened countless times. I'm sorry if anybody is in the audience.
I guess you have to sign some arms later on too.
That's fine, but I should draw things more for my friends. I'm like, here, get this tattoo. They're like, fuck you, dude, I'm not putting that on me.
But people don't come to you and say, hey Brandon, can you give me your spirit and draw something for me as a tattoo?
Yeah, that happens often. Yeah, I
See?
don't mind. I usually don't have a lot of time to do it though, so it's like these tiny little flower or something ridiculous that's like this big.
Last unicorns.
What's that?
Last unicorns.
Yes. I'll draw dolphins.
Dolphins.
I'll draw unicorns all day. Do you guys have unicorns here in Switzerland?
I haven't seen some yet, but...
They're here though, aren't they? Don't say no.